Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in to my super chat. Thank you so much for your support. It is greatly appreciated. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, the two best moderators in all of YouTube. Thank you. People, if you want future newsletters or to keep up to date with everything I'm doing, writing, just email me at contactgoodman78@gmail.com if you want to be part of a future newsletter. That's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. So I'll be telling people that from here on out every segment, every upload, every live stream, because it's just, important. I will eventually start a newsletter, and if you want to be part of it, definitely email me and say you want to be part of it. It's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple things before we start off with President Trump essentially forcing the resignation of a Southern District of New York prosecutor, and William Barr removing this gentleman, because it's just interesting how it's so funny how they always when they investigate Democrats, they don't find anything. Not only do they not find anything, but they also don't charge anyone associated with the Democrat they're investigating. If they're investigating Giuliani, you better believe anyone he's associated with is going down. If they're trying to investigate Trump based on a dossier Madam Secretary purchased and she'll be nominee, I will have made the biggest political call of all time. You better believe that everyone around Trump, Michael Cohen and Stormy and this and that, they're all going to get, well, I should say Michael Cohen and then, excuse me, and then people associated with, nothing. It's fine. I'm fine. Anyway, you better believe that anyone associated with President Trump is going to get swept up in the Mueller probe. Swept up in the Mueller probe. 34 indictments. Dun, 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 dun. Open up that door. Yeah. And then you see CNN. Oh, it's 6 a.m. in the morning. We just coincidentally got a call. We were just coincidentally at this person's house, and they're getting swept up in the Mueller probe. So everyone associated with President Trump, I mean, just the rabid, the intense focus on trying to take down everyone around the president is very interesting. When you talk about the Southern District of New York, and they did investigate Madam Secretary's foundation. They apparently found nothing. Apparently it's completely normal to just funnel millions upon millions of dollars into a charitable or philanthropic organization and then get beneficial treatment. For years and years, you're talking UBS, Boeing, different countries demanding weapons deals, getting those weapons deals. You have Uranium One. That's just a coincidence. So it's just a coincidence. There's nothing there. In fact, we know that the Southern District investigated that. They found nothing. With Trump, there's a Steele dossier that literally was purchased by Clinton. They investigated him based on that and based on intelligence reports that were moderately to highly confident. So there were no transfers of money into Trump's foundation from Russian lobbyists or Russian individuals. No, that was or a company eventually controlled by Putin. No, that was actually on the Democratic Party side. And that's a fact. Only President Obama could have vetoed the sale. Now, if it was Trump, it would be, oh my God, Pompeo has a philanthropic organization. He has the Pompeo Foundation, and money flowed into the Pompeo Foundation. And can you believe that Trump gave 20% of U.S. uranium capacity? Oh, I'm sorry, he didn't veto the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. Could you believe what Trump did? And you better believe that Trump didn't do so because he was told by Pompeo. Because Pompeo got money. I mean, we're talking Pompeo got in his foundation, tens of millions of dollars, over $100 million at one point. Could you imagine media overlooking that or saying, well, you know what, it's been debunked. It's been debunked. President Trump, there's no evidence that Pompeo influenced President Trump, and President Trump didn't have to veto the sale. And so you have this double standard that is one of the reasons they're going to lose. Another reason they're going to lose is the following. So you look at President Trump's rally today in Oklahoma, and at least he has a rally. At least people are going to his events. At least he gets like 50,000 people, sometimes more, on the live stream. Like, I'm a very small, H.A. Goodman's other channel. Christopher, how did you think Trump did at the rally tonight? Very well. I think he did a great job. I really do. I think he did a great job. Christopher, I think that it was a good thing that he had the rally because you can compare that to what Democrats are doing. It's not going to be Biden, but at the convention, they're going to go with Hillary Clinton. But you look, they can't get anyone to go to any of Biden's events. They can't get anyone to watch the former vice president. You're talking about a person who looks like an exhumed body and who, when he opens his mouth, is always an adventure. There's literally subtitles on his ads. You can have closed caption. The subtitles will be there. The words will be there. So you have to ask yourself, if you have advertising for a politician, and it's like, a boxer that, he's in his 70s or 60s or 50s and had a really long career, and sometimes you'll see in the documentaries they have subtitles for the boxers because they've taken so many punches to the head. There's a great documentary called Facing Muhammad Ali, and it's an amazing documentary. 2009 film. And some of the former champions have subtitles just because you can't really, but I mean, all the greats. That's a fantastic, if you want, ladies and gentlemen, go to Amazon, Netflix, wherever you can, Facing Ali. If you like boxing, if you enjoy boxing, you have all the greats talking about the greatest, Muhammad Ali. So that's a great documentary. But Christopher, I think he did great. I think compared to Democrats, what do they have? They have no enthusiasm. But I'm going to get to exactly why President Trump's going to win. There are about 5 or 6 major reasons why. Christopher, thank you. Anthony Andrea! How can Schiff and the Queen be discussing impeachment again? Bolton book will... Exactly. Anthony, I want them to try to impeach Trump again. I swear, ladies and gentlemen, I want them to try to impeach Trump again. I want them. And then you have book confirmed. This is hilarious. Book confirms most serious allegations. How can a book confirm any allegation? This is the thing, Anthony Andrea and Christopher, everybody here. One reason they're going to lose is because Democrats failed a philosophy of language class, and they came up with a whole bunch of absurd ways to make very deceitful comments seem provocative. A book cannot confirm anything. An assessment that you're confident about is not confirmation of something that certainly happened. This is like very simple logic. You can get into, like, I took a philosophy of language course in college, and it's like you can. This is semantics that they live within a semantic murkiness. The meaning of words now, in many instances, is now completely mangled and manipulated to deceive people. This is a deceptive statement. John Bolton's book confirms serious allegations. A book cannot confirm anything. They didn't even impeach President Trump on any actual crime. So Anthony Andrea, they didn't impeach President Trump on a criminal act. He was not impeached on a criminal act. Obstruction of Congress and abuse of power are not criminal legal statutes. So, but this ties into something that I'm probably going to repeat, like I do when I obsess over things. Anthony, Christopher, everybody here, President Trump is going to win, and he's going to win for a number of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is the following, ladies and gentlemen. You can go to your favorite left-leaning pundit on YouTube who has close to 1 million subs or millions of subs. You can just do this on your own. What are they talking about? What are they talking about? Are they talking about any major policies? Medicare for All has been flushed down the toilet, along with Bernie's campaign and the Green New Deal resolution and every other attempt to pander at the alleged value system of a great many people on the left. But what are they talking about? This is really important. I'm not even going to name names, because you know what? But I'm talking about the million sub range to several, to 3-4 million, to go to CNN, MSNBC. What are they talking about? They're talking about how they don't like Trump, how he's really mean and horrible, how they're outraged about what he said. No more. Before, they used to talk about Medicare for All, which is a noble endeavor, or a noble policy idea if it's feasible. It's not feasible. Even Democrats don't think it's feasible. But what are they? So there's no enthusiasm in simply disliking something. That doesn't promote enthusiasm. That doesn't give anyone a reason to vote. President Trump, he implemented tariffs to address the $400 billion trade deficit with China. You can disagree with it, you can agree with it, but that's what he did. He stands for addressing the trade imbalance with China. Before they become, because in 30 years we'll be third. It'll be China, then India, then us. So they'll have zero incentive to negotiate when they're number one in the world and we're number 3 in the world. But again, he stands for something. You have the USMCA, more automobiles and more automobile parts, and a whole bunch of you have more jobs that are linked, more American jobs that are linked to the USMCA than NAFTA. Okay, you can say it's not that big of a deal, or you could say all the problems, but at least he did this. At least Trump did that. Okay, he got us out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and instead engaged in tariffs, which is a lot better than the TPP. And so you can then say, well, no, you know what President Obama was going to do was a lot better. Okay. President Trump's administration signed a peace deal to get us out of America's longest running military conflict, and this is in late February, early March. You can say, well, he hasn't brought the troops home yet. Yeah, but at least he's setting the groundwork, which is a million times U.S. and an organization that I can't name signed deal to end 18-year war. Okay. This is the biggest reason I am voting for President Trump. The biggest reason I'm voting for President Trump. You can say, well, he hasn't, and you know what? He's just as militant. No, he's not. But you can try to form a rebuttal. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to actually form a rebuttal because he's actually doing something. He's actually achieved something that either a liberal doesn't like or disagrees with or thinks isn't that big of a deal, but at least it's something that he achieved. And I think it's a very big deal. What are Democrats doing? What do they stand for? President Trump, I just gave you 4 or 5 major examples. First president to step foot in North Korea and begin détente, and they say, oh, look what's happening now. Still, it's still good. You know, to foster diplomatic relations between two countries that never really had this type of relationship is good. Even if tensions rise, those tensions will eventually subside in a manner that's, those tensions would subside easier with détente than without détente, or faster. But again, you could say, well, it's just a photo op. If you want to just demean President Trump's accomplishments, go ahead. If you're a Democrat, but at least he has accomplishments that he can say he accomplished. What have Democrats accomplished? What are they known for? Impeaching Trump. What else? Because you have this. Well, Democrats have passed hundreds of bills. Do you know any? They claim to stand for climate change. Do you know any major climate change legislation that they're very proud of? Any legislation that is linked to the Green New Deal? So what are they talking about? You can go to these pundits. You can go to the New York Times. You can go to the Washington Post. You can go to CNN and MSNBC. What are they what are they offering people? So President Trump, people don't like his personality, but he's actually delivering on a whole bunch of things in terms of foreign policy. Now, that deal to end that signing of that peace deal to end America's involvement in our longest running military conflict would never have happened with Clinton. Certainly would never have happened with Clinton or Biden. And I doubt it even would have happened with Bernie Sanders because, if Bernie Sanders can't even stand up to the DNC, how on earth is he going to stand up to Clapper, Brennan, Comey, all these people? So you got to ask yourself, what have they offered? Luke St. Martin. Eric H526, hello. Luke St. Martin, hello. What have they offered? But fear. Jimmy from Philly had to suffer through a Biden to get to you. Jimmy from Philly, thank you. Oh, there were subtitles, so. You have to wonder, if you have to wonder if there's a reason why they'd put subtitles in. You have to wonder if there's a reason that there's subtitles going on with Biden's ads. But the key point here is, what do they stand for? They don't stand for anything other than President Trump is very mean, he's horrible, he's an ogre, he's a monster, and we need new leadership. And the pandemic is his fault. If you look, 5 states account for over half of the lives lost. Each of those 5 states are run by Democrats. So what is it that Democrats offer? They are going to have, President Trump is going to win. Could be very close. I think it's leaning towards a very it's leaning towards a resounding victory. It's leaning towards a resounding victory. Democrats generally run on, they are motivated by liberals are motivated by lofty ideals, not by fear, not by anger or resentment. Republicans in years past used to campaign more on fear or resentment or discontent. But President Trump isn't really, he's not an old school conservative Republican. He's a completely different. Also, the thing is, another issue is that in addition to not offering any reason to vote Democrat, they're not offering people any reason. So why are people going to, if you answer the phone and say, if the election were held today, press 1 for Biden, press 2 for, they probably have it like that. It's like the recording, like you can't even hear. What? What's 2 for, honey? Press 1 for Biden, press 2. I didn't hear. I said like 1. I don't know. So I mean, if you look at polls, they say, well, if the election were held today, based on all the horrible things that Trump has done, who would you vote for? That is not the same thing as who are you enthusiastic about. That's not the same thing as asking independents if you're enthusiastic, if you side with President Trump if independents say President Trump is better on the economy than Biden, and the economy is going to be the biggest issue that people vote on, and Democrats lose again, they will lose because they have completely ignored the most important issues that voters vote on. Do, re, mi, music, Honolulu. Democratic achievement. Governor of Virginia, Prime Minister of Canada yeah. Does he? Have a late night talk show. Does he? The Prime Minister of Canada, he's an interesting gentleman. Governor of Virginia, yeah. Do, re, mi, music. There's not just an undercurrent, but I think that I think the phrase silent majority is antiquated, so I'm not going to use that phrase. But there are so many more people who are quietly going to vote for President Trump. This is because what Democrats are trying to do is they're saying, look, everyone's unhappy. Look, everyone's unhappy. Look what everyone's unhappy. I think we need a change. It's not going to work out that way. Do, re, mi, music. Thank you. Thank you. Jimbo! like him or not, Trump's motives are pure. You can't say that about HRC and the machine. Exactly. Okay, Trump is a billionaire before becoming president. He doesn't need the presidency. He doesn't need fame to sell a book. He was already famous. He was already rich. Madam Secretary, most Democrats, well, all Democrats need their political, their posts. They need the fame, and then the books come. Trump already had the fame and money for decades. So he's president because he loves the country. That might seem naive to a lot of people, but he does love the country. I'm not exactly sure if Madam Secretary is running because she just loves the country. I think that she wants to be the first female president, and she could possibly. She's going to be nominee. It ain't going to be Biden. They're not going to waste an entire generation of voters with Biden. Jimmy from Philly. Jimbo, thank you as always. Jimmy from Philly. Go to the Wait. Right to DNC. Go to... Google censored my first attempt. Jimmy from Philly. Does it go to the DNC? Wow. Well, that's the thing. Jimmy from Philly. Look, it's like Democrats take noble. The goals of Black Lives Matter are noble. God bless them. They want to save people's lives. That's good. God bless them. The problem with Democrats is that they obsess over Russia for 3 years and then Ukraine. They did not talk about any of the issues they claim to be passionate about now. So my thing is, if I'm really interested in something, I'm not going to just if Jimmy from Philly, if I'm an Eagles fan, I'm not just on the bandwagon when they win, like they won the championship a couple of years back. I have a dear childhood friend who was an Eagles fan his whole life. We're talking Randall Cunningham, Donovan McNabb. We're talking Buddy Ryan's Eagles. Those were great. Reggie White, Jerome Brown. Those were great teams. Okay. But he didn't just become, when did they win? Like 3 years ago? He didn't just become an Eagles fan. So they do that, Jimmy from Philly, they do that with politics all the time. Democrats they obsess. And it's interesting, media, when Trump wins again, because it's not, the polls are not only meaningless, they're actually hurting the Democratic Party. Because people really do believe. Nice. Jimmy from Philly. 4-6 defense. Love Buddy Ryan. I'm not like I can't say I'm a Bears fan, but the 85 Bears, that's like one of my that's like, if not my favorite sports team of all time, one of my favorite sports teams of all time, along with the 88 Dodgers. But Jimmy from Philly, yeah, I mean, climb BMX. 1989, Mikhail Gorbachev repeated campaign speech narrative, principles of socialist. It's a Soviet communist term from Gail Sheehy, the man who changed the world, 1990. Climb BMX. Well, also, one thing, Climb BMX, Democrats revolve and they utilize phrases that are all-encompassing and extremely broad without any truly defined meaning. So a lot of the terms they use, if they truly cared about those terms, they would have done away with Biden a long time ago. I mean, I'm not going to get into it on a live stream, but if they truly cared, Climb BMX and everybody here, about the value system that they claim to uphold, you wouldn't have Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden as the last two Democrats. They had 4 years to find some amazing, inspiring, policy-driven, just answer to monster Trump. That's why they're going with Clinton. I'm telling you, it will be the biggest political call of all time. She's the only person who could possibly defeat Trump, and she is not going to defeat Trump. So, she's the only person who could possibly defeat Trump, and they have not progressed as a political party. Climb BMX, thank you. Roland Banks! I want to know if you're going to give us Drunk AJ on election night. I'll let Drunk Nate Silver the night of President Obama's re-election. If YouTube allowed, I would have I wouldn't mind having, but I don't know if it's YouTube friendly. I don't know if it's the guidelines, but who knows? It'll be fun. November 3rd, Roland, Climb BMX, be here. November 3rd, I am not like the biggest channel in the world, but I'm telling you, this channel, H.A. Goodman's other channel, my cooking channel, my gardening channel, Bizarro World Goodman, it's going to be great. Roland Banks, thank you. Who knows? Why Thinman? By the way, Why Thinman, thank you again. You gave a super chat a live stream ago, right after I ended. Thank you so much. Thank you, Why Thinman. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Bimbledukins BXN rally viewing on FBA through a higher 8 to 10 mil. Bimbledukins BXN, thank you. Why Thinman, thank you. Roland, thank you. Climb BMX, thank you. Why Thinman, everyone here. I did some reading in the New York Times, the Guardian, the Washington Post today, and just trying to. I wanted to see, because it just annoys me to read the anti-Trump narrative, but I have to do it because I want to see how delusional they are in trying to paint Trump as something he's not. The notion that he's going to win the election, but the notion that 63 million people would vote for him, if he was actually this monster and ogre and xenophobe and authoritarian, it's either that people don't mind or that he's not those things. Okay, the reality is that he isn't those things. That's the reality. Media and his opposition have to paint him that way because they can't look in the mirror and say, oh my God, we lost to President Trump. We lost to Donald Trump. He was never in politics a day in his life. We lost to him. Then the lessons they got were the following. Let's make everything a reality show, everything sensationalized, and then he'll lose that way. And he still wins. So they don't have a message. That's, I think, what I was trying to say the past 20 minutes. They don't have an actual message. Jimmy from Philly! You ain't the biggest, but you come up with some good. Thank you! Thank you, Jimmy from Philly. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. Why Thinman? Thank you again. Thank you, sir. Jimmy from Philly. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for the kind words. Nobody brought up the fact, nobody's bringing up the fact that, so like political, Jill Stein cost Hillary dearly in 2016. Democrats are still writing off her successor. Well, here, okay, the Green Party is not going to have the impact. I disagree with the Green Party on a lot, but I actually have respect for them because they are who they are. and they're proud of it, and they don't, Democrats are not. They're always duplicitous, disingenuous. They're always going to say something that they're always going to pander. That's all they do is pander. But nobody talks about the fact that Gary Johnson and the Libertarian Party got 4.5 million votes. Nobody brings that up. And without, even if you added Jill Stein's voters, if you add to Clinton, if you add creating Wingless Angel, hello, creating with Wingless Angel, hello. If you add the 4.5 million votes that libertarians cost President Trump, he would have gotten the popular vote. That's after getting outspent 2-1. So the Libertarian Party is not going to be a factor. It's not going to be. And the notion that, like, how a third party sunk Clinton, why would anyone assume that Green Party people are going to vote Democrat? They're far to the left of Democrats, and they have nothing really in common with Clinton. Or at least they're not the type of people who will say, well, at least we'll get there faster with Democrats. They are not going to, they'd rather just sit it out. That's the mentality of a Green Party voter. The mentality of a libertarian is a little bit different. If they have a viable political party for libertarian principles, they'll vote for that viable political party and those viable candidates. There are no viable candidates this year. People aren't talking about Gary Johnson. People were talking about Gary Johnson and the Libertarian Party all throughout 2016. They're not going to get 4.5 million votes. So even if they get 1.5 million votes, that's still 3 million more votes, or I could see maybe 2 million more votes for President Trump. That's still good. I don't understand. I'm telling you, I don't understand how I don't understand how Democrats are going to win the popular vote. If they've told all their voters that if they walk outside, they'll spontaneously combust. So I don't get it. Okay, Biden, if you watched paint dry, you'd be more inspired to do things in life than listening to Biden. So I don't see how any of this helps Democrats. Rhett Lindsay, are you concerned that Trump's rally was not as large as I am? No, because here's the issue. Rhett, thank you, Rhett Lindsay, thank you. Exactly, create a Canadian Grizzly. Exactly. Rhett, I think that it's a little bit. Initially, I was. Oh, that's not good. The problem, however, G-Man, hello, G-Man. The problem, however, is that media loses. I think, Rhett, that's a great question, and it's something that crossed my mind. Media loses the actual story. The actual story is that thousands of people showed up. So if it wasn't filled to capacity, instead of media saying, well, it wasn't filled to capacity, so more people are safe. They say, what a loss Trump had. He had a terrible loss. Oh, it was so embarrassing and humiliating. People showed up. Nobody's going to show up for Biden, and you might have a few people showing up for Clinton, but they're going to lose again with Clinton. They're not going to go with, if they go with Biden, the polls are worthless, absolutely worthless, and they're even more inaccurate than in 2016. There's no way that Biden is up 14 points nationally. Why? Just because he's not Trump? Biden, 3 days before George Floyd was murdered, had the "you ain't black" comment. So, and that's a horribly bigoted, horrible statement that, of course, they swept under the rug. So, If you ask independents, they always say they side with Trump on the economy. Independents are going to decide swing states. The economy is going to decide the election. They're not going to roll. People aren't going to roll the dice with Democrats when we had record low unemployment right before the pandemic. And the pandemic wasn't Trump's fault. Five of the states with the most, the top 5 states with the most lives lost are run by Democrats. Rhett, thank you again. Darren Matheny. Polls are fake anyway. 1 million people signed up for the Trump rally. Exactly. And he had the 1,000-boat flotilla. And, drifting piece of plywood wouldn't even show up for Biden's birthday. So, exactly. I think people just had cold feet. A great many people probably didn't want to deal with any possible repercussions. Climb BMX, thank you. So, Darren, I agree with you. Are there any candidates that Democrats have? I mean, Bernie Sanders, I'll give him this, even though he's like a human doormat for the Democratic Party. I'll give you this. He could get thousands upon thousands of people. The problem is he wouldn't get a response from the corporate type of Democrat. And the media would go after him they did go after. This is what I don't understand about Bernie Sanders. This is what's so disappointing. Media went after Bernie Sanders with the same game plan they went after Trump. Virtually the same allegations, campaign allegations regarding a whole bunch of things, working with Russia, or that Putin wanted Bernie Sanders. And isn't that interesting how Russia wants everyone, despite their ideology, that opposes Democrats? Kind of makes you wonder. Maybe they're just bluffing and making up the whole thing. Gee, they wouldn't do that, would they? Why would Russia be afraid of a political party that allowed, President Obama could have vetoed the sale? He did not veto the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. So why on earth would Russia be so frightened of Democrats? Jimbo! So, Darren, I agree with you. Thank you very much again, Darren. Thank you. Jimbo! HSC rally leaves after the entertainment finishes. My thing is the following. If you look, ladies and gentlemen, at the number of people he was able to get. If you look at the number of people he was able to get, and you then say, okay, could that be duplicated? Could that be duplicated by a Democrat? Aside from Bernie Sanders, it couldn't. And also, Bernie wouldn't have that because he would say, oh my God, the experts said don't have it, so I won't have it. I just want to let you know, for everyone who gave $20 to go to see me at the stadium, sorry, the experts said that it's a bad idea, so we're keeping the money, and you snooze, you lose. That's essentially what he would say. The great thing about President Trump is that he just doesn't care. He doesn't care. Here's also the problem. When you're outraged over what Trump says, but not outraged over what Biden says, you're a disingenuous, deceptive imbecile. That's the problem. If you are outraged over Trump, but not outraged over Biden, then you're just a duplicitous, disingenuous, sad, pathetic imbecile. That's it. Pretty much that's it. William R. Abrams, I love my wife where she's going to throw me out. I don't understand. I don't understand what that means exactly. I love my wife. Where's she going to throw me out? Thank you, William. Thank you. You look, ladies and gentlemen, and it's like they're not offering anything. Oh, Valerie, please let William stay. We're having a great time. Valerie, please let William R. Abrams III stay with us. Well, actually, I don't have that long, so Valerie, give us 10 more minutes, please. Raul, hello. Tommy, hello. Aria, hello. If you... I'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, by around 11 p.m. or so. 11:15. But if, ladies and gentlemen, if you look, it's like they don't have anything. They don't have anything to offer anyone aside from failed public relations spin. That's it. It's just public relations at this point. And it's like at a certain... There has to be a point where they realize, Democrats, nobody cares what they think. Like the appeals to authority. The appeals to authority, nobody cares. Nobody cares what they think. You know, this strategist says this. This polling expert says that. November 3rd. They're cruising full speed towards the iceberg again. Full speed. They're like the Roadrunner, like running towards the cliff, and Wile E. Coyote is just, and then the Roadrunner like abruptly stops, and then Wile E. Coyote like flies off the cliff, and they're doing it again. They're setting themselves up for the most cataclysmic failure, because this is going to make 2016 look like a campaign rally. I like how when you type in Trump, it's like you can't even get his Twitter page. I love that. I'm literally typing. Let's see if I put Donald Trump. Do I get his Twitter page? No. Where's President Trump's Twitter? This is hilarious. This is hilarious. I can't even get. This is funny. Oh, finally. I literally had to put President Donald Trump Twitter. And you like Twitter is, I'm telling you, it will unravel the Democratic Party. It'll be the worst thing. It's already the worst thing. It's already the worst thing that's ever happened to the Democratic Party. It's pretty unbelievable. It's pretty unbelievable. William R. Abrams, thank you, Ducci's cracking up. Orange Grove 55. Raleigh was great, but campaign managers shouldn't have said 1 million signed up. If 999,000 showed up, it gives the media headline. That's true. But if 1 million did, but Orange Grove 55, that's a good point. But if 1 million did sign up, it's pretty good. It's something, Doug Barnard, this positive message is greater than the bad HA. Bizarro, that's right. That's right. Thank you, Doug. Jimbo, I've got you on the big screen while I'm cooking. Yes, every time you say Jimbo, my wife Lizzie rolls her eyes. Jimbo! Jimbo! I love it. Hello, Lizzie. Hello, Jimbo. Yes. I am very fortunate to have people watch me as they're cooking. Imagine, like, can you cook with Biden? That would really, like, remove your appetite. Watching the Botox cadaver, Botox Biden. Jimbo, thank you. Thank you again. Jimbo! Paul Klupax, Paul. H.A. love everything you do. Did you catch Leo Terrell finally have enough over Biden, Hillary? I didn't. Paul, I'll check that out. I'll check that out. I did not. I do have to check that out. I will check that out. Yeah, he's great. Paul, I'll check that out. Thank you. Jimbo, thank you very much. Yeah, it's interesting because Bizarro Goodman Asmer. John, hello. It's interesting because they're not going with Biden. They're going with Madam Secretary Hillary Clinton. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. My God almighty, we're waiting. They're taking their sweet time. The DNC spokeswoman even stated it. She's like, we're not nominating Joe Biden. I'm like, I know you're not. Yeah, I know you're not. Just take your time. You look, Trump will take, okay, when the Democratic Party dissolves into, like different factions that all can't stand one another, Twitter is going to go into the dustbin of history. And it's interesting. You know how much time it takes to write a Twitter message to people? To get into a Twitter argument? Do you know how long that takes? Unfortunately, I've been on Twitter long enough to understand. Do you know how much time that wastes? Yes, Tommy O'Donovan, exactly. It is. Bizarro is Tony, exactly. Tommy O'Donovan, exactly. William R. Abrams. No, William. I don't think anyone would leave the great and awesome William R. Abrams III. Thank you, William. Thank you. You know how useless and meaningless a Twitter argument is? The potential for negative outcomes. I left 2 years ago, and it was one of the best decisions. And you see, I will start eventually a trend. It started with me. When people say, "Oh, well, I left Twitter," yeah, not as early as I did. I left Twitter and Facebook because the movie Tron is a great movie. See, there's a lot to be learned from 80s science fiction. And Tron is a great film. You're stuck in a video game. You're stuck in an alternate reality. And I don't want to be in, I'd rather play the video game, not be stuck inside the video game. So Tron is the exact reason why you shouldn't be on social media. It's also, ladies and gentlemen, like playing at Foxborough during a storm with an inflated ball against the greatest quarterback of all time, all the time. It's not like, and it's still President Trump wins, but at the same time, it's like, if you even like defend yourself in any way, like someone goes after you, insults you, and then they complain, and you get suspended. It's like, it's not worth it. Dilly Raver! Trump rally was great tonight, despite how hard the left tried to ruin it. Exactly. Trump 2020. Exactly. That's the issue. That's exactly the issue. That is exactly the issue. Great point. Great point. Thank you. At least it was some semblance of normality. Not, and now they're going to have a really tough time saying that, no one's made it. They've all collapsed, and, we're going to have, they can't say that because they can't say, well, it was a complete catastrophe. Oh, my God, everyone suffered. So they're going back and forth. Exactly. Great point. Dudley Raver, thank you. Jasher! Post-Floyd, what do you think about running for VP? No, I think that she and President Obama are waiting, Jasher, for Clinton and Democrats to tank the political party. There's no way the Democrats win. I mean, I don't see any way. Like in 2015, NPR quoted me. I said Clinton would lose. She had a better chance then than she does now. Biden has zero chance. Biden's horrendous. How anybody on the left would think that Biden could even come close to Trump. So I think it's either going to be Biden's either going to pick Clinton, or I really don't know who he would pick. They might try to sneak in Elizabeth Warren, which would be hilarious. I mean hilarious. Jasher, thank you so very much. Jasher, thank you. Chad Swans! I don't believe for 1 second that people RSVP or bought tickets for Tulsa but didn't show. This is all about optics for the Dems and the media because the red tsunami is coming and they know it. Chad, yeah, I think that at the end of the day, my position on that is, I think, by the way, Chad, thank you. Jasher, thank you. I think that when you look, ladies and gentlemen, at Biden's live streams, there are sometimes 68 people. What was it? Hold on. There was 68 people at one. Hold on 1 second. 68 people watching. Hold on. This is great live stream. Where is it? There was something like 68 people watching his live stream. Something just like crazy like that. 78 people. Something like just this hilarious. Where is it? Where is it? So, the interesting thing is, I can't find the exact number. The interesting thing is, he's going to deliberately tank Chad and Jasher. He's going to deliberately tank Valerie. Those players they got nothing. I don't think they're going to get anything from Chad Swan. Susan Rice's VP with Clinton top of the ticket. Operation Protect. Well, I don't think they would do. I don't think that Susan Rice would be, because she was part of the unmasking. So then that would put everything in the spotlight. I think that would put everything in the spotlight, Chad. Thank you again. I think that it would put everything in the spotlight with the unmasking, and she was, along with Samantha Power and a whole bunch of other people, part of the unmasking situation. So I don't know if that would be. I don't know if they would do that. Yon San Long, thank you as always for watching. Old School Dad Man! Chad, thank you again. Old School Dad Man! If Biden picks a woman, how long before he does something? Should be like, it's so great. Biden, what? Just a matter of time. Have a great Father's Day, everyone. Thank you. Have a great happy Father's Day to everybody. Yes. Old School Dad Man. It won't be long. But that's also the thing. They can't. If you couple, Biden with Miss Universe would be like, it would just, there's no way that you could couple Biden with anyone and make that person look good or make Biden look better. Biden is like the reverse Midas touch. So anyone who, you could put the most popular actress or singer next to Biden, and then both of their stocks would tank. There's nothing that Old School Dad Man and Chad and Jasher, there's nothing that there's nothing that William R. Abrams III, we love you, man. Thank you, William. William, thank you. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, William. Old school dad man Chad, there's nothing that they could do to make Biden look good. And anyone who becomes his VP is going to be begging Hillary Clinton to save her. Save me. She'll be like Morse code. She'll be like, SOS, save me. Everything that's taking place for the past month and a half is serving to reelect President Trump. I have no clue what Democrats are thinking. I have no clue what they're thinking. But I don't see anything that's happening as a negative for President Trump. The average American is more media savvy than ever. And there's nothing that's going on that's good for the Democratic Party. They stand for nothing. Just look at what their pundits are talking about. And I don't care what they think of President Trump's personality. It's been 4 years. They obsess over it. Oh, he said this. He said, so what? Who cares? Get over it. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. To my super chat, thank you. To the 500 plus people, if you want to be part of my newsletter, upcoming newsletter eventually, it's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. I'll have my website up eventually, and I'll have a newsletter from that website. So it's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. Email me if you want to be part of an upcoming newsletter. People, tell your friends. 500 people on this live stream. Be here. Robbie France, thank you. Robbie, thank you. Be here on November 3rd, people. This is the channel to be at on November 3rd. And H.A. Goodman's other channel. Subscribe to that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, everyone. To my super chat, thank you. I'll be back around 11:15 or so tonight. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you very soon.